Hi, this is Kim Mark with the My Sexy Business team. I am here with
Kristi Bridges from One Moment Wiser.
I just want you to know this princess has so many technology issues. I am trying so hard to stay on track. And for some reason, our Be Live, which is what we use for our interviews, is not working for this session. And this session is with Kristi, so it's okay because she's here.
Exactly.
But I'm frustrated by technology. I am trying my best to compose myself and not throw a fit. But I wish that the other would work because I would rather have her name splattered all over the place. Kristi is someone who is absolutely amazing. She's my co-host for the Hope to Hope Conference, March
It's an honor.
2018. Oh, I'm honored because you're here with me. You are amazing sauce. Kristi and I are, oh my gosh, from the day that we met, we have been besties. I don't know what else to call it because
Exactly.
we just get each other. We're both silly. We're both hot messes.
She's the cousin I never knew I had.
Exactly. But we are going to go on with the Hope to Hope Conference, even if technology is trying to spank us. I did a live this morning talking about, sometimes you have to do things poorly before you can do them well.
That's right.
And right now it's kind of poorly, but we're going to go with it.
I don't know. I kind of like this camera.
This camera is awesome because it's the phone.
It is good. I'm switching phones now.
The other sessions have been on the laptop, so you probably will see a difference, but that's all right.
I don't think your share button will be missing, so you can share this one too.
Kristi is someone who, just to give a little bit of background, Kristi has done a lot of things in her life and accomplished a lot of things. She's currently a corporate trainer for a major company. She has influence over thousands, and she has authored several books. She has classes. She speaks. She does all kinds of awesome things. But my favorite is that she's like a little firecracker. She's so fun. We kind of get in trouble, I'll just tell you. Jen, if you're listening, you'll appreciate my little history lesson here. We were doing something for an event coming up, and so we had met, the two of us who are wild and crazy girls, and Jen, who's an introvert, had met at Whole Foods, which is one of my favorite places to meet, which was in Tulsa. And we said, we're going to definitely be out of here by the time they close. This is going to be accountability. We're going to guard our time, and we're going to be done by the time they lock up the door. We're
10, right?
Yeah,
we met at 8, and it was going to be a 2-hour meeting, which was a stretch for Jen. But, it was really worth it.
And poor Jen, by the time she got away from us at probably 11.
She said, I'm going out. She was out in the parking lot from 10 to 11.
Yeah. Well, here's the worst part, though. She left at 11, and so all of our accountability was gone. Mm-hmm. So we were there till 4
at least
5.
midnight.
No, we were there till more.
It was dawn, wasn't it? Oh my gosh.
I went home and the sun was rising, and I'm like, oh my Lord, yes, we have to have keepers.
Yes.
That's the thing, is we just have so much fun, and we have had such a good time at this conference and all the other things that we've done. We have done so many things, but Kristi was, she knew that this was going to be the session that she was going to be on, and I was going to talk to her, and she never knows what I'm going to ask. She never... no one really knows what I'm ever going to ask, so be prepared. But she came in from just taking a little walk and getting quiet for a minute.
Yeah. And
I think she hit the nail on the head with what I wanted her to talk about. And she is, she's so cute because she went out and she kind of got quiet, and it came up in her spirit as well. So I'm really excited for this part. I think that some of the background that we were talking about, you have a lot of credentials. You have to have a lot of credentials for what you've done. Oh, I'm so sorry. Live is so awesome. But, what is it that caused you to decide that you could do what you're doing today? Because what you're doing today is a big deal.
What I'm doing today, I shouldn't be doing. Because I don't have the degree to do what I'm doing. Let's start a little ways back because we have the time and I think it's worth telling the story right. I was married when I was in junior college to a guy I met in high school. And he was good for me in a lot of ways, but I was never enough for him. And of course, we were, high schoolers. And
Kids.
Right, we were kids. We had all the answers. We were going to be, perfect husband and wife. But to me, what was a perfect husband and wife was a situation my grandparents had, where she took care of the house and did all that stuff, and he did the big stuff. Now, when we met, from the time I was 5 years old, until we met, I was going into theater. I was going to graduate high school and go be a movie star. And I fell in love and set that aside. I didn't want that anymore because I was going to be the perfect wife. And one day he was off at a music festival because he was a musician. And I thought, what if he didn't come home? What would I do? And I thought, well, I'd sing. I'd be in a band. And I said, well, why am I not doing that now? And I had a lot of excuses for why I wasn't doing that. They weren't legitimate reasons. Mm-hmm. And there came a time a few years later where he moved to California and I didn't. And at that point, I had, the epiphany that somebody's got to live this life, and I don't have him to keep leading me and telling me what to do based on what he wanted. I had to live my life. And slowly, it took a while. Divorce is an agonizing process. But it took a while to get to live those dreams. But in the process, I dropped out of school. I was in college to be a teacher because that's something that I could fit around his dreams and hopes. And I dropped out. So now, you said I'm a corporate trainer. For a big company, I write my own curriculum with some great partnerships. I've learned a lot as I've gone, but I have a lot of freedom, and it's really a great class. I teach a 5-week, 8-hour-a-day class, and it's a blast. And I shouldn't have that job with my degree, with my credentials, right? But I do because we don't stop because someone says, here's the qualifications, you don't meet them. Mm-hmm. We keep going because we know that God's going to qualify us for everything he wants us to do. God doesn't call the equipped. I had a pastor say he equips those he calls, right? Mm. And through the class that I teach, I'm able to speak into the lives of people and help them through struggles. When people get a new job at a company, they're oftentimes going through a life change. And I'm able to help them through those changes as well as give them a start in a good career, like somebody has done for me. But the music thing, it was never about becoming a corporate trainer, although it is one of my favorite things ever. But the music thing...
And she's really good at it.
Oh, it's so fun. I did start when he left. A few years later, I had to get my heart right first. A few years later, I started going to open mic nights, and where nobody knew my music and I had to snap my fingers and just find something with a beat and sing it, to get to where I've had bands and actually had an album and still have more music to record. And not because I ever played an instrument, not because I ever was qualified, but because
you showed up.
We show up. That's right. So that's just a little bit. I didn't mean to. I think I went on 3 different tangents there.
No.
But that's something that we were talking about.
That, the important part of I think this conference is to meet people where they are.
Yes.
And I don't know where our listeners are at in their lives right now, but I know that all throughout both of our lives, we've had issues with not having the right piece of paper on the wall, right, to do the thing that we're doing. But here's the thing I've said for years and years.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't smart enough to know that I couldn't do it, so I just did it.
That's right.
I didn't know better. No one got to me and told me I needed a piece of paper to do so many of the things that I do,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't have that paper. I don't have that education. And I think that you are amazing because you just reflecting back, you've accomplished those things. Like you've accomplished having a band and albums and like you've accomplished those things even though it didn't look like what it started out you thought it should look like.
When I walk up to someone at an open mic night and they play amazing guitar and I say, "Hi, I'm a singer." What do you think they say? Yeah, so is every woman everywhere, right? But you don't let that stop you. I don't even bother introducing myself to people sometimes until I get that spot on the stage and can get the audience snapping. And then pretty soon people come up to me and say, "You're a singer. Let's go with this." And I'll never forget the story you told about going to the class where you were working out problems about being a landman in the oil business, the only woman in the room with her sparkly pen.
That's
Tell
right.
the story.
Well, I showed up the way I was. I had to make a hard decision because I worked in the oil field, and that's a very male-dominated industry, and I had to decide if I was going to show up like I really am, which is a princess, or if I was going to conform. And I guess everybody knows with the crown in the background, I did not conform. But I showed up like a princess because I am a princess.
And then when the teacher gave them a problem, everybody in the room got the same answer as the teacher gave, except for Kim. She thought, "Oh, what's wrong with me? What did I do wrong?" She was sure of her math. And then the teacher said, "So if you all got this answer, let me show you where you went wrong." And the answer that was right was this girl's. We show up and then people notice us. But even with that, and I'm sorry, I gotta say, this right here is an example. This is her goal setting tool.
Oh my goodness.
It's wonderful, by the way. Her goal setting tools are awesome.
Note time.
She's the queen of making it simple and getting the job done. Oh, princess. Of making it simple and getting the job done. But, even with those times in our history, we still end up feeling like we're still playing dress up sometimes, right?
Yes.
I know me, probably up until a few years ago when I started being surrounded by people that Kim brings into my life, who I would normally just look up to and go, all fangirl woozy.
Groupie.
Yeah, groupie, there you go. And I started knowing them for who they were and realizing that we're kind of alike. And Kim actually has guided me through some really good projects in my own growth. But up until probably the last couple of years, there's so many times that I've still felt like I was a kid playing dress up. Like I was, no matter what I did, no matter who said it was good, no matter how far I got, I still felt like a little kid. And someday when I grow up, I want to be, I'm sitting on 2 pillows right now because I'm never going to grow up.
And I heard if you hit 50 before you grow up, you don't have to. So I'm in the clear.
But, we don't have to grow up. We don't have to be told, okay, you're credentialed enough.
Now you're finally there.
That's right. Don't stop showing up. Mm-hmm. I'm so glad that you came to me. I don't know. They don't know the story. I didn't have a degree.
I'm not sure what she's going to tell.
Right? I know there's so many good stories. But I don't have a degree to teach what I teach. And but I still do it. And I have licenses. I have securities licenses. and lots of experience as trainer because of people who were able to see that potential in me and give me that permission. But a couple of years ago, I was not in a band at the time, and I had extra time on my hands, and I'm not really good with extra time on my hands. I had all the bike rides I could stand, and I needed something to make me feel like an achiever and to make me feel like qualified, right? Like a grown-up, like I wasn't playing dress up. And I thought about going back to school to finish my degree because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to have a degree. And I told Kim about it. Well, the night that I filled out the application, Kim, I bawled like a baby, you guys. I mean, my heart was broken.
Don't make me cry.
I want to cry thinking about it. This person inside of me said, why are you giving up on our dreams? And I said, I'm not. This is supposed to help us. This is going to, get us more money and a better career. And this person is going, that's not what I want. And, but I did it because I just felt like it was a logical step. And it was an interesting degree. It would have been very interesting. It's turned out to be stuff that I'm learning on the job anyway.
She's getting paid.
Yeah.
Getting paid to learn what she was going to pay to
learn. Instead of spending $40,000, I'm making money to learn this stuff. But at the time, it seemed logical, even though I was pretty sad about it. The idea of committing that much of my extra time to somebody else's projects. And Kim came to me. She said, we got to talk. She'd been traveling. We hardly ever talked. She came to my house, and we stood in the driveway for 4 hours. And she said, you do what you want to do, and I love you, and I will support you, and I understand. But please pray about it first. And she unfolded to me an idea that she had. And 2 years before that night, I had gone to a women's conference, and I had told one of the speakers afterwards, in a couple of years, I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be speaking at a conference. But that was one of the dreams that I was making myself set aside and put away in hopes that I would have some credential that would make me feel like a grown-up and a success. And Kim came to me that night and she said, I've been doing some things. I've been collaborating with some people. And I really believe that you could host your own conference. Not be in somebody else's conference and get someone else's approval and be one of many people that get reviewed and have to audition and have to look a certain way or be a certain way, but create the conference that came out of my heart with a friend of mine, Jennifer Owens, who is so wonderful to collaborate with.
Jen!
Hey, Jen! She is such an inspiration and so wise. And we created a Rose and Bloom. And it was amazing. And Jennifer's holding a retreat this year. And I'll be holding a retreat sometime soon, within the next year or two. We've actually talked about doing it this year. But it was life-changing for me, Kim. Because
Don't make me cry.
Oh my gosh. It began me saying, I am qualified. I am going to do. I don't have to keep reaching for some new approval. Yeah. It began me looking honestly at what I'd already done and recognizing it as valid and not just homework and practice.
Yeah. Practicing for when you really grew up.
Right? I'm so blessed.
I think that that's a common thing among all of us, is we feel like we need one more degree, one more certification, one more, and I'm going to share with you something that I actually get asked to speak about when I go to conferences, and that is they.
Yes.
Who are they? Because we always say that.
Get them on the phone right now and talk to them.
They said I can't do this. Well, who is they? They said this. Now, there are certain things I do not want you to operate on me. My brain, I don't want a brain surgeon that just thinks he can do it. I think there are some things that you do have to have certain qualifications.
Right.
But I also want to say that the things that we do that influence lives and change lives that are huge,
Yes.
we don't need someone to say we can do it. They don't need to approve us anymore. Like, we don't have to wait for their approval to do something, because here's the problem. Again, I wasn't smart enough to know I couldn't.
That's right.
And so because of that, look at us. I mean, we are speakers. Kristi's actually on tour. I mean, there's things that go on that I just kind of laugh, because I remember those conversations and the struggle. And I think we all struggle like that. We all struggle with, can we really do this thing? Can we really be this thing? Can we really put away the dress up clothes and actually dress? Give you another example. Depends on where I'm speaking, I'll just tell you, but there's a lot of times I show up in a princess dress and my crown. And if you can't tell what it is right behind me, that is one of my crowns. That's one of my favorite crowns. I'm not playing. Like, I am a princess. It's the real deal. Kristi is an author. She is a speaker. She is a trainer. She is those things. She does not have to wait for whoever they are, to say she can do that.
And when we knock the invisible they out of our way and start doing, that's when lives are blessed. There have been so many times, I'll tell you an example. When I was first starting to do music, I was singing every week at the Holiday Inn in Florida. And it was an easy peasy job. I sang along with this karaoke guy, and a lot of old people danced. It was really fun. Oh man.
It sounds like fun.
I love dancing people. But I got to the point where I would hide in bed instead of going to the show, because I didn't feel qualified. It wasn't my ultimate dream, but at the same time, I didn't feel like important. I just wanted to hide. And so, eventually I ended up with a band that was my ultimate dream band. Life happens and we do other things. We're still all friends, and actually we're still writing together, which is kind of fun. But, you do what you do when you move they out of the way and you take the sheet off your head and you get up and you show up. And when you show up, you can start helping people. Kim got me to actually focus on, instead of pleasing other people or attaining some status, to focus on what I really love to do. And I was able to write the first book in the 1 Month Wiser series, Wisdom Better Than Wishing. And from that book came a journal and a cell group study. And then I'm driving through the Blue Ridge Mountains a couple years ago, or was it last year? I don't know. I was driving through the Blue Ridge Mountains right after it came out, and God starts just pinging me with all these ideas for not just one book, but a whole series of books. And I've been working on the next couple of books that way. And Kim says, well, gosh, you know what it's like to be a beginning author. So why don't you help other people get out of their offices and quit hiding, because we like to hide until we're perfect or until somebody notices us, right? Who's going to notice you when you're sitting at home writing in your journal? And you've got words that will heal, and you've got words that will give wisdom, and you've got experiences that people can relate to. But we try to hide because we're waiting for they to give us permission. We're waiting for someone to say we're good enough and we're no longer playing dress up. And so she said, why don't you write a course to help people through that process? And that came out this year. Oh my gosh, it's so freeing. I want to do it all the time. Anyway.
And, that's the thing is, it's funny the things we don't think we can do. Like, we don't even have it on our radar. And
would never have occurred to me to teach other people what I've just learned. Yeah.
But that is why I think a lot of times we learn things. Because we learn it so that we can share with other people, and we can encourage other people, and we can influence other people to do, the things that matter.
Yes.
Because I just want you to stop and think, if you're listening to this, Well, I guess if you're not listening to this, you won't follow my instructions. But
Listen
anyway, think about what you would do if money didn't matter, if time didn't matter. What is it that's in your heart that's burning that you love? Because you're going to find some answers in there. You're going to find some things, because it's always something that we are motivated by, and we have to be, we have to pay the bills.
Yeah.
But we're motivated by the things that pay the bills. And we're motivated by the things that we can fit in our schedule and those kind of things. But think about it for a minute. What is it that you really love? Like, what is it that gets you up in the morning, that makes you want to go do something? Because you probably don't even have to have a degree for it, I'll just tell you.
Yeah.
Most things.
And what would you do if you didn't have to compete for it? If you didn't have to try to be famous by it or be independently wealthy through it? What would you do just because you enjoy doing it and it touches other people? And why aren't you doing it?
Yes. And
hopefully you are. That's not an accusation. Hopefully you're probably doing it a little bit in your own life. But expand that. Look back at the stories you're going to have when you're 70 and 80 to tell. I look back, I'm 46, and I did a resume this week that was a creative resume. It wasn't a job, my teaching job kind of resume. It was just the books and the art and the music and those things. And I went, whoa.
Yeah. I want to meet this person.
Yeah. When I was 25 and I was playing housewife and my husband was off doing music. Did I ever think that at 46, I thought my life would be over at 28 if I wasn't famous yet. I may as well just give up because, you got to hit it big fast. Oh my gosh, the best musicians are 60. So, I look back at 45 and I've got 2 pages of stuff that excites me.
I challenge everybody listening to do the same thing.
Like, I'm 46. Whoops. I'm 45, I'm 46. Quit lying about my age.
How old I guess. If you take a minute, like 5 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever, and get quiet and write a resume to your dream job. Like, don't write a resume that, you have to have the job because you need the bills paid. Write a creative resume that is just for your dream job. What would it look like? Because you will learn a lot about yourself if you will do that. And you can pretend it's somebody else you're writing the resume for. That's even fun. Because if you pretend it's somebody else, you'll be a lot nicer.
True.
But, make a creative one. Make a resume that you don't have to send it to anybody, but send it to you. Like, you're the CEO of you. So send that resume to you and see if you're going to hire you.
I like that. Kim, you make me think about something. In the course that I just built for devotional writers, there is a worksheet that helps people get to know themselves, and it'll help you get to know what generates a response from other people. What is it that people come to you for? If I couldn't carry a note in a bucket and I said, I'm a singer, but people came to me for recipes because I was an amazing cook, or they came to me for marriage counseling, then those are the things I might need to notice and make use of. Doesn't mean I shouldn't take voice lessons too if I love to sing, right? It helped me tremendously, let me tell you. But, if you guys, it's part of my course. It's not usually just something that's publicly available, but for this conference, because this conference is all about finding hope in your life. And Kim is so good at that. I will give it to you for free. I will give you that worksheet for free.
And this is not a sales pitch.
No.
Because that's something that I want to point out real strongly is Kristi gets the whole vision of this conference. This is not about selling or recruiting you or getting your name on a list. This is nothing whatsoever except that she's awesome and she's generous. And she wants to share a tool that she created, but that she uses.
Yeah, my course isn't for everyone, guys. My course is for a specific type of person who wants to write a devotional book. So it's not for everybody. But this worksheet, I think, along with that, Kim's idea of a resume, will help you realize what you have to give this world and get out and use it. because people are waiting to be blessed by you.
Absolutely.
So send me a message. Connie will put my name in the comments, or I'll put my name in the comments. Send me a message and say you heard about that worksheet here, and I will get it to you.
That's an awesome idea. And I just, oh my goodness, I find myself just like in awe that I get to be in this chair. Because here's the thing, all these amazing people that are on the conference, they're legit. I mean, that's the whole thing. But you're one of them. I'm going to point that out. They're giving and generous and loving, and they live what they're talking about. I guess that's the thing that makes this different. This isn't about selling you something. This isn't about recruiting you for something. This is just sharing best practices, sharing hope for whatever the situation. Again, this is a day that I am choosing to celebrate because my oldest son would have been 30 today. So one of my celebrations is that Kristi's in my life. You know, when Kristi came into the mastermind group, it was kind of funny because she wasn't sure. She even asked me if she should even be in it. And I'm laughing and I'm thinking,
I don't know anything. She's like, I've been teaching you for 2 years. Wait.
And so I think that that's one of those things that if you're on the fence about something, like if you're thinking you need something, and I'm not talking about people that need a license to practice something. I'm not talking about things that are, like my husband has to have an electrical license to do industrial electrical work.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm talking about those things that we give excuses to.
That's right.
The playing instead of thinking we're grown up. I will tell you though that I am never going to get in Kristi's shoes because I'm never growing up. I'm always going to play in my princess dresses and princess crowns. But if you are letting those excuses keep you from what you're supposed to be doing, don't do that today. Like, we just encourage you. We just want to encourage you to take the leap of whatever it is. Fill out your creative resume. Send it to yourself, the CEO of you. Get Kristi's tool, which will help you. Kristi has amazing tools. But, do something to move towards what it is that you're supposed to be doing. Don't let the days slow you down. Right. Don't let the negative self-talk, don't let all of those things keep you from what you're supposed to be doing.
And if it helps you to pretend that you're playing dress up, if it helps you to work on your skills by telling yourself, oh, it's just a hobby. Absolutely. That's what got me out to those open mic nights. But don't do it at home. Don't do it alone. Step out.
Yes, step out.
Practice and pressure make perfect. Yes. Show up.
Well, we are out of time. We are so excited to be here with you. We're going to be here for the next three more days. We're going to be here for a lot of hours.
We are going to have so much fun.
And we are already having a blast.
We are.
So if you have just tuned in, you might go back and look at the other videos because we had some amazing people on. Up next, we have another session at, let me get my time right.
3 o'clock, right?
We have 3 o'clock Central Time, 1 o'clock Pacific. Is that the right one? Pacific and
4 o'clock
4 o'clock Eastern. So, princess problems. But those are the right times. So if you can join us for the next session, I know you will be blessed by it as well.
That's
but
right.
This is the Hope to Hope Conference. I am here with Kristi Bridges from One Moment Wiser, and I am Kim White with the My Sexy Business team. Love you guys.